Local news about local people. This is Newslink Indiana.
Hello, I'm Chris Bavender. Thanks for joining us. After taking the oath of office, Mitch Daniels is officially Indiana's governor. Thousands of people gathered at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Pepsi Coliseum to watch the swearing in. The Republican addressed the state's fiscal problems during his inauguration ceremony. Later, he signed several executive orders and plans to enact a new two-year budget. Daniels said he would wait until his State of the State address next week to present his plan for Indiana's budget problems. Congressman Mike Pence was in town today to visit victims of last week's ice storm. More than 1,000 people have sought refuge at 11 Red Cross shelters. Pence was at the shelter at the YMCA in downtown Muncie, commending the teamwork of the community and Red Cross.
Long after we've forgotten about the ice storm of 2005, our community will be stronger and be closer because of the way people recognized need and responded collectively.
Pence will take an aerial tour of the area later this week to view damage. As of noon Monday, nearly 5,000 people in the Winchester area were still without power. As Newslink Indiana's Chris Wilson reports, crews and county officials in Randolph County continue to work around the clock to improve conditions.
A small town hit by a big storm. Winchester is like most towns in Randolph County and east central Indiana after Wednesday's ice storm. Many residents are out of power and struggling to clean up after Mother Nature.
It had just been complete devastation as far as trying to get through roads, county roads, even the main highways.
The Randolph County Sheriff's Department reports no injuries and road conditions are improving.
There is some power lines still down on some of the roads, and those have been marked by the county highway. What are hanging down that they might catch their vehicles on.
Sheriff Jay Harris says the biggest problem is restoring electricity. Customers in cities such as Winchester and Union City have power, but some towns like Ridgeville and Modoc are still without. Indiana Michigan Power says 90% of homes in Randolph County will have power by Monday night, the other 10% by Wednesday. Until then, citizens are able to stay in shelters where volunteers provide food and warmth.
The city of Winchester has been very grateful to all the community members and getting donations from the Anderson Food Pantry and helping out a lot for everybody who doesn't have electricity. It makes a big difference in people's lives.
Despite flattened trees and fallen power lines, some residents are still optimistic.
I just thank the Almighty God that we were as fortunate as we are with the devastation that hit this county.
In Winchester, Chris Wilson, Newslink, Indiana.
Shelter volunteers say they will remain open until all power is restored. Nicholas Ferreri is here now with a look at our weather, and it's been a really crazy week of weather.
It really has, and the craziness is not over yet. We'll take a look at tonight. Things not too unusual for a January night. Slightly warmer tonight than an average January night. Our average low for January 10th is 16 degrees, so 35 degrees, a significant warm-up. Some light showers in the forecast tonight as well. Precision cast shows that while Indiana was without rain today, the chance for rain builds in tonight through tomorrow and Wednesday and into Thursday, too. Tomorrow, our high will be 51 degrees thanks to south-southeasterly breezes, which will bring in warmer and more moist air. Thunderstorms possible as well tomorrow, so don't be surprised if you hear some thunder when you're out and about tomorrow. In our 5-day forecast, Wednesday high of 61 degrees. Now, Wednesday night, a cold front will be making its way toward us. That will make things a lot more windy. The winds on Wednesday night could reach as high as 40 miles per hour at times. Thursday, our high will be 50 degrees, a chance for rain in the morning. As that cold front pushes through in the afternoon, though, our temperatures will drop rapidly, causing some of that rain to change over into some snow. Our low Thursday will be 18 degrees. Then on Friday, you can see that that cold front has indeed passed by. Our high will only be 23 degrees with a low of 6. Saturday, our high will be 20, again with lows in the single digits. Now, the past week was quite a rough week weather-wise, and as you can see here on the 5-day forecast, this week we'll have a few bumps in the weather road as well. So I hope this little piece of weather wisdom will put a little smile on your face. Comes to us from Rudyard Kipling. There was a small boy of Quebec who was buried in snow to the neck. When they said, "Are you frizz?" he replied, "Yes, I is. But we don't call this cold in Quebec." So the moral of the story here, things have been bad, but they could have been a lot worse.
That's true, they could have. And hopefully by Wednesday, everyone will have power back and we won't have any of this mess.
Let's hope so. Let's cross our fingers for that.
All right, thanks, Nicholas. Well, the lights stayed on for a select few businesses. Newslink Indiana's Jason Luzak visits two of the winners.
As many as 100,000 customers lost their power in the ice storm last week, sending hordes of shivering people in search of heat and light.
When we opened Thursday morning, it was just from the minute we opened until the minute we closed. They were lined out both sets of doors.
The surge in customers also brought a surge in profits, with the restaurant doubling its usual business on Thursday.
I've been really lucky.
Some businesses were not so lucky.
We luckily got power back on Saturday morning, so we were able to obviously discard all of the spoiled food.
Cassie Adams, part owner of Vince's, says that power was restored at the restaurant on Saturday and they are now open for business. She says they lost some food, but it will be covered by insurance. Back in the winning column, Meyer in Muncie used a generator to satisfy a flood of customers looking for the necessities of life.
Where we took some customers from some of the competition, people that had not been in here a great deal before, that were just grateful that we were here.
The Meyer in Muncie has sold a lot of propane heaters, batteries, flashlights, basically anything that will heat or light your house. But now they're preparing for the second wave of business. Store director Craig Hunter says that they are now preparing for a second rush of people looking to restock their refrigerator as the power returns. In Muncie, Jason Luzak, Newslink, Indiana.
Well, many people want to know why it's taken so long for power crews to come to their neighborhoods to reconnect fallen lines. Indiana Michigan Power says the down lines are just part of the problem. Before they can repair those, they had to take care of transmission lines. Those lines provide power to East Central Indiana by carrying high voltage from power plants around the state.
The biggest problem we ran into is that some of the transmission and the sub-transmission lines, which actually are the large lines that bring power into the area, some of those were heavily damaged, and we needed to get those rebuilt before we could even start hooking up customers.
The electric company estimates 450 toppled poles had to be replaced. As power is restored across Delaware County, schools try to get back to normal. That means another day at home for some students, while others, as Newslink Indiana's Lindsay Jameson tells us, were back in class.
Students on the Ball State campus. The first signs of life since last week's ice storm, but many here who live off campus, still without power in some cases. According to Ball State's Glenn Augustine, power on campus was top priority for class today.
The main factor was electricity on campus. The university was in constant contact with the power company.
The university worked overtime to be ready for classes after a 3-week holiday break. Crews worked to clear branches so campus was passable for students.
Students pay a tuition for us to operate and for us to be here and for them to gain an education.
Ball State decided it was safe to start class today. While less than 10 miles away at Cowan Elementary, Superintendent Larry John says school's still out due to the loss of power because of down power lines. School officials spent the day double-checking safety concerns so students can go to class tomorrow.
Power outages, that where the lights come on, they go off, and come on and come off. Those kinds of issues really create situations where you can have motors damaged or you can have pumps damaged.
Cowan wasn't the only school still shut down. Others in Delaware, as well as Madison and Randolph counties, sit empty as the aftermath of the storm is cleared away in an attempt to get back to normal as quickly as possible. In Delaware County, Lindsay Jameson, Newslink, Indiana.
Cowan Community Schools are open Tuesday, but on a 2-hour delay. Well, that is Newslink Indiana. For Nicholas Ferrari, I'm Chris Bavender. Join us on the web again tomorrow for more news. Can I do that again?